Okay, today's lesson we are looking at one of the most famous formulas, Pythagoras' Theorem. Pythagoras' Theorem essentially states that with a right angled triangle, you can calculate the length of the longest side by squaring the other two, adding them up, find the square root. So let's get into it. So like I just said, in a right angled triangle, the longest side is called the hypotenuse. That's always the longest length, it's always opposite the right angled triangle, always. So it states that in any right angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two lengths. We get this lovely formula, c squared plus a squared equals b squared. And what's quite interesting to note that the hypotenuse means under tension. That's what the word states. It presumably refers to the fact that the longest side of the triangle looks like a piece of string stretched between the ends of the other two sides. So imagine that as a piece of string, we're stretching it out, it's under tension. So let's look at an example. A and B, it doesn't matter what you state they are, as long as A and B are the two shorter lengths. So we'll go A, B, and C. So our formula states c squared plus a squared, equals a squared plus b squared. C squared equals, so A is 4 centimeters, so 4 squared, and B is 5 centimeters, 5 squared. C squared equals 16 plus 25. C squared equals 16 plus 25, 41. So C equals the square root of 41, and we'll do this to two significant figures. So we're going to get a final answer of 6.4 centimeters. There we are. Okay, lovely. So we can put that here, 6.4 centimeters. Okay, let's move on. Here's a few questions. I'm going to show you the first one. So we want here to two significant figures. Great. So firstly, what's the hypotenuse? Remember, it's always opposite the right angle. So find the right angle. What length is opposite it? Label that C. So for the first one, it doesn't matter, A and B. You can swap them around if you want, you're still going to get the same answer. So the first one, I'll do the first one for you. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. So we got 6 squared plus 7 squared. So c squared, 36 plus 49. C squared equals 85. Now what you want to do in your calculator here, when you put C, for accuracy or ease, you can go to square root of your last answer, or square root of 85. But when you get more complicated numbers, it's easier to just do that. The square root of my answer to two significant figures, C equals 9.2. Well, I'll show you what the calculator says. 9.219544457. So if it wants it to two significant figures, C equals 9.2 centimeters. There we are. Pause here, have a go at these other two, and then I'll move on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here are the answers. Self-mark. And then here's a little checkpoint. Have a go at this one. This is a bit more complicated, but I want to answer the three significant figures, so pause it here. Okay, and then the answer will be at the end. We'll move on. Okay, here's a little model. Right, ABCD is a trapezium. AB is 3 centimeters, BC is 4 centimeters, and AD is 10 centimeters. What's the perimeter? Well, pretty basic question, but we're missing some information. So the perimeter is we're adding up all the lengths. So we can see here that we're missing DC. So when we add them all up, we've got 10. Oh, sorry. I have accidentally, let me just fix the question. That should say 10. So 10 centimeters. So add them all up. We've got 10, 10, 4, 4, 3, 3. And we don't know this length here. Okay, so what we can do, we can cut this up here. Put a little dotted line here where I've already started it. So now we can see that this length here is 4 centimeters because it matches the opposite. But if the total is 10, regardless of it not being the scale, this is 6 centimeters here. So now, and we can see that that 3 centimeters is also 3 here. So we get for us a nice little right angle triangle here. So let me just redraw that out here. So now we can see that our missing length, we've got 6, 3, and we don't know the unknown. That's what we want to know to complete our question. So we'll label that C. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals, we'll go A and B. 6 squared plus 3 squared. That equals 36 plus 9. C squared equals 45. So C equals the square root 45, and that's going to give us an answer of 6.7. We'll go 1 decimal place, 6.7, because that's what the answer wants here. 6.7 to 1 decimal place. Well, now all we have to do, we go back to our original problem, add up all the lengths. So 10 plus 4 plus 3 plus now 6.7. We're going to get a final answer of 10 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6.7. Final answer, 10 plus 3 plus 4. Final answer of 23.7 centimeters. And there we are. So that's how we find the final answer of all our missing lengths. So, last but not least, have a go at this question yourself, and then pause it here, make sure you can complete that, and then in 3, 2, 1, here are the answers to that original practice question you did and the application. Hope this helps.